Hello my peepers, welcome back to the Color-a-Lawn in nice little town Christmas. If you remember, we were using the Colleen pencils and we are going to glitter these all up using just about anything I can think of. So, how have you all been? I have had a lot going on. I'm really sorry it's taken me a while to get this going. Some of you know, some of you might not know, but my dad had, looking for yellow, my dad had surgery last week, Thursday, which was the 6th, December 6th, yes. I knew he was going to have surgery Thanksgiving Day, I was told. He had a blockage. Okay, I'm using, these are Zig memory markers. I don't know. Wink of Stella. They're Wink of Stellas. Do I want gold or yellow? I guess I'll use gold. I haven't used these before. So, anyways, my dad went in for a blocked artery on the left side of his neck. He had, my mom said something about he had been dizzy, and so he had some tests done and they found out that it was blocked. So he went in for his surgery. They said that he needed it before he had a heart attack. Or I mean a stroke, not a heart attack, a stroke. So he goes in for his surgery. Now I had to babysit that day. My sister has a new job. She can't take off. So we had told my mom to ask two of our aunts who were retired, but she wouldn't. So she goes by herself. And of course, because it's my father, there is complications. So when he wakes up from his surgery, his blood pressure had dropped dramatically. And he could not move his left arm or his left leg. So at that point, they did not know if it was because of his blood pressure or if he'd had a mild stroke. He could talk, so that was a plus. So I can't leave because I am babysitting. So I guess my sister kind of freaked out at work, and she was explaining to her boss, and they're like, yes, you can leave, but first you need to breathe, because she was hyperventilating. And so she got to go to the hospital, and with my dad being agitated, they had sedated him. So that they could get his blood pressure also to normal. So Friday comes around and Scott and I go and pick up my mom and take her to the hospital, and he's in ICU, so only 2 people at a time, and Scott just told me to go, but I told him, you can go visit my dad, you know, during the time too, and I can leave the room, but he wouldn't. So my dad was talking to us, and the doctor at that morning had said that he saw my dad move his hand and the foot, I think, My dad could move his shoulder, which was a good sign. So he had a feeding tube, and he had the breathing tube, but when we got there Friday morning, the breathing tube was gone. Yeah, I'm still figuring out how I want to do my my pretty picture. This looks like it's clear. I can't remember what I used here because I want that for the snowman. I must have used stickles, right? So let me go grab my stickles. Maybe that's what I used here. So, they had taken the breathing tube out when my mom and I had gotten there. Sorry, I'm trying to remember how everything went. So, you know, he was talking and laughing. He was in good spirits. And I was okay. I wasn't nervous or anything, and it wasn't stressing me out because he was talking. You know, he's alive. We can deal with this. He'll probably need PT. That little snowman is really cute. So, let's use green on his. Shirt, his sweater. One of these greens on his sweater. I'm combobulated. I'm trying to think of everything to tell you. I'm probably not going to remember exactly in order or anything like that, but while we were there, we saw him wiggle. Well, the nurse came in and she wanted him to wiggle his toes. So, of course, you know, he can wiggle the right ones. And the only thing that moved on his foot was his big toe, which hadn't moved before. So, every day there is a new thing that he can do. You know, there's an improvement every single day since he's had this. And, yes, they did come back and confirm that it was a mild stroke. And I finally met his doctor yesterday, but anyways, so Friday I'm a little upset because where's the doctor? Now, my dad said he saw him that morning, but why is he not around to talk to my mom? My mom needs to know what's going on. And so, you know, we'd talk to my dad, and then, you know, he'd have to go to the bathroom, so we'd have to leave the room. And the one time something was going on, so I said, well, I'm going down for lunch. Scott was falling asleep out in the waiting room, in the ICU waiting room. And so we all went down to the cafeteria to have lunch. But my mom said she wasn't eating with us because my sister had confirmed she was getting out of work at 12:30, like she always does on Fridays. And she was going to eat with my sister. I said, okay. I had eaten like half of mine when I started having an anxiety attack because the cafeteria was so crowded. And I don't do well in crowds like that. So I ate half my sandwich. And I took my half of my anxiety pill. I don't take the anxiety pills every day because I don't have anxiety every day. Sometimes I have it once a month. Sometimes I don't have it for a couple of months. So we went back upstairs and Missy had finally called and said that she was there, so we went back down to the cafeteria to meet her. And my mom and her were eating their lunch, so we were just sitting there talking. Okay, this is one of my new hybrid dual metallic. Just going to do the little... We're going to glitter this page up. So... once they were done eating, my sister and I went back up, said goodbye. I said goodbye to my dad because my sister was there now, and she was going to take my mom. Well, my mom had left her car there Thursday because my sister told her she couldn't drive. She wasn't going to let her drive because she was all upset, you know. So I was going to drive my mom's car home Friday, but my mom said nope, she was doing fine Friday, and she was going to drive her own car home. So I said, okay. So Scott and I left. It's just been crazy. So Saturday there was more improvement. And they said that he would probably be going, I don't even remember the whole weekend. It's just, I had to babysit Saturday and Sunday, so I couldn't be at the hospital. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to get my gel pen back into its slot in my pencil case. Sorry, everybody. Just been... I don't know why it won't go back in. Being a pain in my butt. I'm going to leave it out for now. I'll never get anything done. Okay, I'm going to do his hat black with the Colleen pencils. Is there a gray? Is that a gray? I guess so. But I know my sister was there Saturday, and she said my dad was being mean to my mom and and his nurses, and so she let him have it because he's a booger old man. And so she called me to calm down. And then she didn't go visit him Sunday, but one of my aunts and uncles did. So they were there for a while visiting. And I have Monday through Thursday off this week. So I told my mom I had to get things done around the house because Scott had bought the Christmas tree Saturday morning while I was babysitting. And so I had to decorate the tree. And I babysat till almost 8 o'clock Saturday because Scott and Dylan went to Christmas shopping. So I told my mom I will go with her Tuesday to go visit my dad. I needed Monday off to get things done around the house. There was laundry to be done, and she had already told me one of my other aunts and uncles was going to be there Monday with her. So I said, well, I will go Tuesday with you. So that was our plan. But she called me and said she was not going Tuesday because she needed a break. She'd been there all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, she said she needed a break. And I don't blame her because she's been driving every day. And it's a 45, 50-minute drive. Okay, let's see, green. So I'm like, okay, Tuesday I am just going to sit in color. So I did that. Finished 2 whips. Orange. Well, that one's going back in the slot. Why won't the brown one? Okay, what did I use? I used this. Whoops. So yeah, Monday my tree got decorated, and oh, and I forgot to tell you what my husband bought me. I already got my Christmas gift. Well, he says he's not done, but I told him he is. When he went and bought the Christmas tree, he knows I like my old-fashioned Santas. So he's bought me an old-fashioned Santa that's done in the white coat. It's gorgeous. And so when him and Dylan went Christmas shopping, he bought me a brand new 50-inch Fire TV. And because it's so big, he already gave it to me. Dylan came over Monday after work and hooked it up for me, and it's got Alexa on it. It's pretty cool. I like it. I needed a new TV. Mine had all kinds of lines running through it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so ornaments. think this is going to be purple with the silver glitter on it. We'll use the coloring pencils on the purple part. What do I have for purple? Okay, this will do. So yeah, I was busy and I watched the general hospitals I needed to watch on Monday, and then Tuesday I watched all the supernaturals that I needed to watch. So yesterday morning, which was Wednesday, I got up so I could go meet my mom. She wanted to leave her house at 9:30. Now, I had planned on doing the drive-in, but when I woke up Wednesday morning, I was having anxiety problems. And I've been fighting this earache on and off in my left ear for a week. So when that's bothering me, I just am kind of out of it. So my mom ended up driving again. But I paid for, we get valet parking instead of fighting the parking garage and trying to find a parking space. You just pull up in front of the hospital at the valet parking and they give you a ticket and you just let them park it. They have a special area just for valet parking, so we did that. And it's only $1 more to have them do that. So, we get there, and my dad's not in his room. So, we found his nurse. She is so sweet. Her name is Thuy. It's T-H-U-Y, but it's pronounced Thuy, or Twee. Twee. And she says to us, he's coming back from his swallow test. He finally passed. And we're like, wow, we were so thrilled he finally passed the swallow test, which means he can now drink and eat, but it has to be like thick liquids and pureed food for now. Because he wasn't passing his swallow test. When he'd swallow like water, it would go to his lungs instead of his stomach. So he has to strengthen up his muscles. So she says to us, he's such a pleasure. And she said, he knew right away what her nationality was. He says, you're Vietnamese, aren't you? And she says, yes, I am. And she must have grown up here because she didn't have an ounce of a, what do you call it? I'm just drawing a blank today. Anyway, she spoke perfect English. You know what I mean. I'm just kind of out there today. Accent. She didn't have any accent whatsoever. So when she says my dad was a pleasure, I looked at her and I said, are you sure we're talking about my father? Because I burst out laughing. And she said, yes, why? So we told her how he usually is in the hospitals and how he treated everybody on Saturday. And she goes, no, he was talking to her for quite a while. Okay. So while we're waiting for my dad, I text my sister, Scott, Dylan, and Justin. And I said, we just saw the nurse. He passed the swallowing test. And that he is a pleasure. He's a pleasant man. And Scott, Dylan, and my sister all said, what? Are they talking about the same man? But I guess they've been giving him like his Xanax 3 times a day, so I think that's what's helping, because he does not do well in hospitals, and he's claustrophobic, and his room is very small, and he has to share it, because he's not in ICU anymore. He's on the 7th floor. So they said he could try to eat some pureed food, and they have like yogurt and stuff which is thickened, and so he did eat a little bit. So while he was eating, my mom and I went down to the cafeteria. There was one lady there that made me a little mad because, well, they were talking about him having to be transferred maybe Friday, which will be tomorrow, to the physical therapy place. And he'll be there for a while because they want him to have intense physical therapy 3 hours a day. So like, I guess they do 1 hour, and then they do another hour later on in the day, and then another hour later on in the day. So while there was a lady in there talking to him, you know, my dad was worried about the finances because him and my mom have both been sick. You know, the past year or two, they've been in and out of the hospitals, and so they still owe on those. And I said, well, I wouldn't worry about it because you'll just pay what you can, and you need this physical therapy. I said, Scott and I can't help them financially. And the lady looks at me up and down and says, well, you're wearing nice clothes. So, and that's all she said, and looked away. And I'm like, what does what I have to wear make any difference? Do you want me to come to the hospital in sweat clothes? I was always told, always look your best when you go out in public. I buy my clothes on clearance. I don't spend mega dollars on my clothes. I don't spend a lot of money on clothes. I get them when they're on clearance. So she had no right saying that. But when my mom and I were getting ready to leave, his doctor showed up. So I finally met his doctor, and his doctor is hilarious. His doctor says, well, you're improving. He goes, so I guess we aren't going to take you out back and shoot you. And they're thinking that with the physical therapy and the way my dad keeps improving, that he's going to have a full recovery. So I'm hoping that's true. So I did not know that he could move his leg. And then he wanted to shave, so he was shaving yesterday, and he's just feeling a little better. But I didn't know he could move his left leg. No one had told me that he could move it, and he was sitting, and his leg was bent, because they moved him from the bed to a chair. And I said, oh, you can move your leg? And he goes, yeah. And so he was bending his knee up and down and all around. And I said, oh, well, that's a big improvement. I did not know that. He just still cannot move his right arm. Or his left arm, I mean. But yeah, his doctor was really nice and said that someone from physical therapy will see if he can handle the intense workout. Okay, I'm doing silver. Going to use the Zig Wink of Stella for the silver. Maybe. So yeah, I like his doctor. And he keeps improving every day, so that's a good thing. But he asked my parents how long they've been married, and it was like 50, what is it, 54 years. And the doctor said, well, it was the secret. And my dad starts crying because he's been crying for the past few days, saying he doesn't deserve my mom and keeps apologizing to her when she has to do something for him. But my dad told him it's because we love each other. So the doctor was talking about how his grandparents were celebrating their anniversary one time, and they had somebody go around with a camera asking everybody questions and talking about the grandparents so that they would have this video to watch. And they had asked the grandfather what was the secret of staying together. And he said, we couldn't get divorced. Neither one of us wanted the children. I burst out laughing. My mom and dad burst out laughing. That was a good one. So, yep, we left around 3 o'clock because my mom, doesn't want to be there all day. She always leaves around 3 o'clock and beats the traffic from people getting out of work. So we went back to her place, and then I went grocery shopping afterwards. So I didn't get home till like 5:30. Going to, this is, whoops, his little loop is up here for the ornament. There's that ornament. So yeah, he just keeps improving every day, and So those of you that have been praying for us, just keep them coming. How long is this taking me? 35 minutes to tell a stupid story. No, you guys are going, we don't care. We just want you to color. Okay. Let's go with this red gel pen. So when I went grocery shopping yesterday, I got more of my sparkling water. And for my dinner, I picked up sushi because they have a station right there in that they make fresh sushi, and it's so good. So I bought some of that and some type of rice quinoa, however you pronounce it, bowl at the sushi stand. So I bought that too. So I ate half the sushi and the rice bowl or whatever it was for my dinner. And then I'm going to hit the other half today for my lunch. So, if my dad gets to go to the rehab place, then he will probably be moved tomorrow. So, my mom says if he is, then she probably won't be going, because between the transfer from the hospital into where he needs to go and once he gets settled in, she says it'll probably take most of the day, because you know how hospitals and that are. And I said, yeah, and then it's going to depend on what time of the days that they do his PT, because the lady that was talking to him yesterday, she had that done, and she got full recovery back. And she's like around my parents' age. She works at the hospital and goes around and talking to the patients. But she said that she would have PT for an hour, and it's so strenuous that it really tires you out. So then she'd sleep for like an hour afterwards. And then when you have PT again, you get tired again. So she said she was always sleeping or doing PT for a while. So I told my mom, I said, well, I guess that's going to depend how much you go and visit him, depending on what time his PT is and if he's going to be sleeping a lot. But it was funny because Tuesday I told Scott, I said, I'm going to talk to my mom and my sister. I said, I think if my dad probably won't be home for Christmas. I said, I think what we should do is Mom, my sister, and I should go up and visit him Christmas morning. And then we go back to my mom's, and Scott and the boys and everybody meets us back at my mom's house in the afternoon to celebrate Christmas. And Scott says, yeah, that sounds good. So I was riding with my mom, and she says, oh, and Missy and I talked, she says, Dad's not probably going to be home for Christmas, so Missy and I were thinking that the three of us should go to the hospital in the morning and then come back in the afternoon. And I looked at her and I laughed. I said, that's exactly what I told Scott we should do. I said, so yep, I'm on board for that. So I'm sure, well, it's 11 o'clock now. I'm sure my mom's already at the hospital. She likes to leave her house around 9:30. So she'll call me around 4, or I will call her to see what exactly is going on. I said, well, I have to babysit Friday, but I have the whole weekend off. Said, so Scott and I can go Saturday, but we wouldn't be able to ride with her because I have a hair appointment. I have a salon appointment getting my hair cut, my eyebrows done, and my nails done. So I figured I'll make a few videos today, and but I wanted to fill you in on my dad, and he's improving. Every day there's an improvement. I have not watched any Christmas movies yet. I have a whole bunch on the DVR. I was going to do that today, but I think I'm going to get caught up on Riverdale. I have 5 episodes to watch of Riverdale, so I want to get caught up on that, but I think I'm going to sit and binge watch movies in the evenings and this weekend. I've been reading a lot of Christmas books that have been really good. Okay, there's the red one. Let's do this red. Where'd I get this? I still have to wrap Christmas gifts, though. So I might do that this weekend. I can do that while watching Christmas movies. I am done Christmas shopping. So I just have to wrap. Okay, let's get my gold. My gold is Signal Uniball pen. There's my white, there's my silver, and there's my gold. Yep, now I'm quiet again. I have so much old Christmas stuff, and I threw out a lot last year, and I had a few I threw out this year. I do have a ton of Christmas decorations and ornaments that I cross-stitched, and I have had them for probably 20 years, and I'm tired of looking at them. And I don't hang them on my tree anymore. Well, some of them are way too big for the tree. So next year, or I might wait till after Christmas and wait till they have sales going on. I want to buy the fake garland that's pre-lit because I like to have them going all around the top of my walls by my ceiling. And then I like to hang off my cross-stitched pieces that way all through the house because I like my lights. I like having my lights. I like having like my living room or my family room. One of them done in snowmen and one done in Santas. And let's see, green. Green. Let's do this. And I'd like to do my kitchen and gingerbread men. And I'd like to do like maybe the bathroom in nutcrackers. So for the next couple years, I just want to add some more things to my Christmas arsenal, I guess you would call it. I had a really old nativity set, but that started tarnishing and it just got really yucky. What am I doing on time? Can't read it. 50 minutes? Yep. So how many of you are coloring for my color-along? And how many of you are doing other color-alongs that are out there? No, there's a lot of them. That's the darker green. Let's do the lighter green in here. Pretty. That's a pretty one. And this color, maybe a, this silver. I want to color and do a video and finish up Ivy and Inky Butterfly. The page that we started a few months ago and never finished. Yep, that's my goal. I want to finish some whips. Get some of them done. So what color should I do that? Blue. Let's do a blue. So yeah, I don't know what my husband's thinking, that he needs to buy me more Christmas gifts. The TV and the Santa is way plenty. Way plenty. I think the next part of this video, the next part of this picture, I'm going to go look up the Christmas tag on YouTube and do the Christmas tag while coloring. So I run out of things to talk about. So we will say goodbye to this video. And sorry, I have sunlight. I just realized that it's shining and leaving bright spots. Sorry about that. I don't really want to close. I don't really want to close the curtain because the sun is out and I haven't seen the sun in a few days. So we will say goodbye to this part and stay tuned for part 3. And I will talk to y'all later, my peepers. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.